There's a corner of Bangkok just north of the old town that seems to have missed the memo about being a tourist destination. It's the sort of place that people stay in but rarely explore, a neighborhood you might end up in because the hostels here are cheaper than those closer to Khao San Road. There are a few nice restaurants, but none you'd cross a river for. Some notable temples, but none that would draw a crowd. This neighborhood is behind the southernmost point of Sam Sen Road, a road that I walk down almost every day. Actually, the word rush would be more accurate. The street is lined with tuk-tuk drivers, tailors, masseuses, the sorts of people who see me and then immediately start their sales pitch. I suppose there must be something about my appearance that makes them think I'm a tourist. I thought that after a few months of living here, people would recognize me by now and stop with the hard sell, but that hasn't happened yet. So instead I've started telling everyone I'm a photographer. Now before the tailors stop me to ask if I need a new suit, I say, "Good morning, do you need a photograph?" And that seems to do the trick. Lately, instead of rushing through this area, I've started slowing down, letting the back streets pull me in, and I've been discovering a part of Bangkok that I had previously overlooked. Where exactly is Sam Sen Road? Sam Sen Road runs parallel to the Chao Phraya River. It stops just short of the old town at Norarat Satan Bridge. Behind the southern end of this road is an hourglass-shaped sub-district called Ban Phan Thom. It's a very old district that was originally inhabited by craft artisans who specialized in making niellaware, a type of decorative metalwork. Today there's only one place in the area that still makes niellaware using the traditional techniques, and that is the Thai Nakhon firm at 79 Brashati Pattaya Road. No doubt many of the homes in this area have passed down through generations since that time, and between these houses have emerged the hostels, shops and restaurants necessary to sustain the many tourists who come here. For younger tourists or those on a budget, this seems like a pretty good place to stay, especially if your idea of a good holiday involves partying till the early hours on Khao San Road. This area is only about a 10-minute walk from there, so the location is far enough away that no lasers will shine through your window at night, but it's still close enough that you can stagger home drunk at 3 a.m. I've not stayed in any of these hostels myself, but if I were on a budget, or still young enough to think that sharing a room with strangers is normal, I might consider staying here. Given how many tourists the average person living here must meet on a daily basis, I guess it's no surprise that I'm treated as one too. It does make me wonder how long I will have to live here until people stop treating me like I've just stepped off a plane. To me, this part of Bangkok seems like more of a place to stay than a place to visit, as there aren't many big attractions here. But if you do stay here, this isn't just a place to sleep in and escape from. There are many nice restaurants and cafes in this area that would give visitors a reason to linger. No doubt the standout restaurant in this area is one called The Island, a 3-story beach shack 20 miles from the sea. I'm no architect, but I'm fairly sure that it's made of driftwood and held together by plants. The interior is busy, the stairs are rickety. Everywhere there are the sights you would expect to find on a typical beach holiday. Deck chairs, life buoys, the occasional monkey. As I make my way upstairs, I'm careful not to touch anything. I fear that removing the wrong potted plant might bring the whole place down. For lunch, I order sweet pork and rice. The latte comes garnished with an orchid. A cool breeze blows through the upper stories. I like it here. The place has character, and the staff are nice. I finish my meal and coffee, and then step back out into the heat, away from this island paradise. Back on the mainland, little else calls out for attention. There are no grand temples here, no bustling markets, no neon signs. The buildings here are dilapidated, paint is peeling from the walls, there's graffiti everywhere. It's not to everyone's taste, but I enjoy all of this. The textures, the chaos, the random assortment of items that, were they to be placed in a modern art gallery, would sell for millions. I find myself particularly fond of an artwork hung on someone's wall that seems at peace amidst the barbed wire and peeling paint. I always like photographing things like this, though what others would make of such photos, who can say? But I suppose that doesn't really matter. I'm not taking these photos for anyone else. This is just my way of getting to know this area better and looking at things a bit more closely. After wandering these streets for some time, I eventually find myself walking beside the canal that runs along the boundary of the old town. This path isn't especially scenic, but I find that I'm always drawn to water. Maybe in a past life I was an otter. Further up there are a few unique hostels, each with their own charm. Outside them I'm drawn to the strange decorations of painted eggs and trees surrounded by colourful bottles. No boats ply this stretch of water, but the river does teem with fish, and so locals often line the banks here with their fishing rods. Some even stand waist deep in the water, casting out their nets. I always think these sites should make nice photos, but it never quite works. The subjects are always too far away, and the background is of muddy water. I suppose one day I ought to bring my swimming trunks and climb in for a better shot. I continue walking until I reach Usa Sawat Bridge. Here I spot some kids fishing. They climb over the side of the bridge and perch themselves on the metal beams beneath. The kids catch fish after fish, but they don't eat them. They cut them loose and throw them back. They're fishing because, well, they like to fish. And maybe that's what I'm doing too, wandering these streets, taking photos, and not caring very much about the results. Just casting a line, and not worrying too much about what comes back. After a while, the kids stop noticing me, and somewhere in that moment I realize I don't feel like a tourist anymore. Not because the place has changed, but because I have. This area feels familiar to me now, and to these kids at least, I'm a familiar sight too.